If getting your money by any means was a person,
she don't want me to take her hair out. She don't want to pay me.
it'd be Jayla Cunningham.
The devil just was working.
She had her 15-year-old client's hair laid, but she says she never got paid. The money was sent to the wrong Cash App.
I never thought she was about to run off.
The girl allegedly ran, so Jayla dragged her from the window to the wall.
Like, if I can't get paid, you can't have the service.
A story millions of you have been talking about on the Shade Room, and y'all are divided about this.
That's not how you treat people.
You made the mistake, so fix your mistake.
And now a Shade Room exclusive. Not only has she been charged with assault, but the Shade Room got the receipts. This is not the first time she's been caught on camera getting scrappy with a customer.
Like, this is why I don't want to be in this business in the first place.
I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates. Jayla Cunningham has been doing hair in the DMV area since she was 14 years old. She's 18 now. She says she spent about 4 hours doing this ponytail swoop style on her 15-year-old client, a style that she said she'd never done before. We're blurring out the client's face because she's a minor, but when she did get it done and it was time to get that $150 payment, things got bad, really bad. The client could not pay because her brother sent the money to the wrong Cash App. Things went from 0 to 100 from there.
So he sent the screenshot, and I'm like, that's not me.
There was a serious problem brewing. Stylist Jayla Cunningham said that she gave her client some grace at first and gave her time to figure out how to scrape up the $150 she owed.
I already had 25,000 followers before this, 70 on TikTok, and like, everybody know my name is Jayla. I'm like, that's not me. So she like, oh.
She says the young lady was on the phone with several people trying to get the money sent. No luck.
After her calling a couple times, she was like, I don't have it. That's all I had, and nobody can send it. Can my mother send it in 2 weeks when she get paid? I said, girl, I'm not trying to be petty, but no, like, that's entirely too long. Because like 2 weeks, it'll be time for a new hairstyle. Your mother will be ready to pay for a whole nother hairstyle. Like, in 2 weeks, that's just too long, honestly. So I'm like, no, somebody else got to send the payment. And she's like, well, I don't know what we about to do. And I said, well, the only other thing I can offer is to take out your hair. Like, I'll give you a wash and blow dry, but like, if I can't get the payment, you can't have the service because that was on y'all end and not mine. She like, I do understand that, but I don't want my hair taken out. I like my hair. So I'm just about to get somebody to send it. I'm like, okay, cool.
Then she walked away.
She said she was about to call somebody. She walked out of my eyesight. And I'm like, girl, you got to stay right here. And then I didn't hear a response. So I got up and like peeked my head around the corner, and she wasn't in the salon anymore at all. And then I peeked at the steps. She was halfway up the steps. And mind you, it's nothing up the steps but the exit door. Like, it's nowhere else to go but to leave. So she almost up the steps, and then I started going up the steps. And right when she pushed her hand on the door, she broke running. Like, fast running.
And that's where this video picks up. A video over 70 million people on X have been talking about.
Sit right here until somebody sends it. I'm not playing. You just tried to run. You lucky I beat the out you. I did grab her by her hood, and I brought her back in the shop. And let me clarify this too, how she even got on the ground. It is steps, how I said it's steps. So like, we was both coming down, and then something happened with our legs, and we both fell on the ground. It's just, I got up.
The client stayed planted on the floor for a few seconds while one of Cunningham's other clients checks to see what's going on.
Now I'm like, what the f? Because the whole time I thought I was about to get my payment. I honestly feel like whoever she was on the phone with told her to run out. Boom, that was like 20 minutes. Still no payment. I said again, I'm like, girl, let me take your hair out. Like, because I like, at this point, I know I'm not about to get paid now. I'm like, just let me take your hair out. Let me take your hair out. She's like, no, I like my hair. You're not taking my hair out.
She then speaks to one of her family members on speakerphone.
She don't want me to take her hair out. She don't want to pay me. What the f? No, bitch. The whole face is going to be on this.
Yeah, she gonna find out when I get there.
I don't get no f. I ain't finding out shit. Bro, I'm going to call my uncle right now. Your ass to get left here. Oh, that. Then I heard like a banging at the door.
It was the police. But before she answered the door,
I told my other client, I'm like, go in my suite in my top drawer and get the scissors. I started walking towards her and she's like, no, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't put your hands on me. I'm like, I'm not trying to put my hands on you. I'm not putting my hands on you. I'm getting this damn hair out. When I say I cut it as best as I could because like she was moving. Like she didn't stand and let me cut her hair. Like she didn't want her hair taken out at all. So she was moving.
she says she never once threw a punch, but once she cut the girl's hair, she let her go and proceeded to answer the officer who was waiting outside. So as a business owner, I know you're still young. There's ways to go about professionalism. Even going after someone with scissors is not necessarily appropriate in some people's eyes when you are conducting business. So when you hear that, I mean, going after someone with scissors, do you think that maybe you should maybe switch up how you conduct business and how you go about these practices?
As a business owner, yes. But I feel like in that moment, like I let the best get to me. But I do feel like I could have went about that way differently. But the only way it would have went differently if I just would have let her, just leave without paying me. And in that moment, I'm like, no, I need my money.
The girl's family shows up a short time later and inform her that this was only a 15-year-old girl.
I never knew her age the whole time. And because I was seeing people say, like, I was picking on her because her age. I only did that because her age, because she was smaller than me. First of all, she was actually bigger than me, even though I am older. And the father, like, he was, like, pulling out a gun and stuff. He's like, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back.
She says no one has physically come back and assaulted her, but the young girl's sister, who's 9 months pregnant, did make a post on Instagram.
And my sister's embarrassed. She got up. She wanted to talk on the phone in private. Now, am I saying my sister should have got up and walked out? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not justifying that. But you got to understand, she's 15. She's never been in a situation like this. What do y'all expect her to do? My sister started walking towards the steps because, she was on the phone trying to figure out how to get the money to the stylist. In the midst of that, the stylist saw her walk out and began to start following her. At this point, it started scaring my little sister, so my sister started to walk. I'm not justifying the fact that she did that. Now, if she felt like my sister was about to run off, why couldn't she just lock the door? Why did you have to drag her? If my sister really wanted to run off, don't you think an Uber would be outside waiting or somebody would be outside waiting on her? Nobody was there. My mother called the police. The police was there before my mother got there, so. She also says that later that night, Cunningham charged the card she had on file for that security deposit. After all of this, after she dragged my sister, after she cut my sister's hair, she still charged my mother card, y'all. So for all of that, she could have just charged the card from the giddy up. I do have a question for you. You
Okay.
have a card number on file.
Yes.
You knew that. Could you have just charged her the $150 after it was all said and done?
Yes, that's what I did. But it's like, I remember I told you I cut her hair. So that's why I refunded it.
Before you cut her hair, maybe it could have been a good idea for you to be like, don't worry about cash apping me. I'll just charge the card that's on file.
Right. But with Acuity, that's the booking site. If somebody's card is locked, it's not going to go through. And I didn't even think it was locked or nothing. I genuinely thought she didn't have it. You get what I'm saying? That's why I didn't do it right in that moment. I'm like, if I can't get paid, you can't have the service.
What are you going to be doing differently moving forward?
Relocating to like a way more secure building. I feel like everybody, you have to send an ID. The appointment have to match the ID. 18, you got to be 18 or older to come alone. And that already been the case because the sister tried to, pull up my policy and say it take 13 plus. I start at 13 because, like with the styles I do, ponytails, quick weaves and stuff, people like that, especially for prom and graduation season. It starts at 8th grade. But you have to be accompanied by an adult. That actually already was the case, but it's like really enforced now. If you had known that she was under 18, would you have acted differently? Yes. I probably would have just called the police on my end and just like, I don't know, like get her arrested. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know what I would have done, but it's like, I don't think I would have dragged her like that. It's like, Jayla, you're not a minor no more. Even though you was a couple months ago, you're literally not a minor no more. She admits she reacted out of fear because 3 years ago, she says the same thing happened, but she was the 15-year-old back then and says that an adult woman neglected to pay her. The video has since been deleted on social media, but it did go viral. You can see her chasing her down before the woman threw a punch and then they got to boop bopping each other. Because mind you, in that situation, the lady hit me first. It wasn't even like I attacked her. She hit me first. So I'm just, that's the only thing my mind went to when this happened again.
Despite Cunningham going about this situation much differently, it wasn't enough for her to go unscathed. The girl's family hired an attorney and filed second-degree assault charges against her. Their lawyers sitting down with the Fox News affiliate in Washington, D.C. last week.
The video is horrendous. It's a 15-year-old girl. We're talking about someone's child here, a child who is being dragged across a salon floor by her jacket for over something as simple as a mistake.
I'm getting death threats. Like, I'm getting so many threats, and people saying, yeah, I'm about to book an appointment with you and I'm gonna run off and see what you do to me. And it's just like, this is why I don't want to be in this business in the first place.
Jayla Cunningham, she told me that she knows she's wrong and she learned a valuable lesson that day as a business owner, even sending that client an apology. She says she also refunded that $150 to the card on file. Later that night, she did charge that card just to see if it would go through, which it did. She has been issued a summons to appear in court on April 18th on second-degree assault charges, and of course, we'll let you know what happens. For TSR Investigates, I'm Justin Carter. Hello, roommates, and thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Do you want more TSR Investigates? Be sure to subscribe and check us out at theshaderoom.com.